Hello again, everyone. My name is Arios, and happy Saturday! I do apologize that I missed last week. Actually, it's not so much an apology. It's more of an kind of a notice thing. I want to try and skip every other week just because it kind of seemed like I had nothing to talk about by the end of this Saturday. So I figure I can kind of build up over the 2-week time period to come up with more to talk about. So that's why there was no vlog last Saturday. But anyway, I want to start things by giving a shout out to the director of the indie film Unlisted Owner. So I actually know the director, which is very strange for me to do, but this is an indie horror found footage film. It's about a house where apparently I guess there are some grisly murders within this house, and a team goes to investigate it, kind of thing. It kind of reminds me of the beginning of, for any of my gamers out there, the beginning of Resident Evil 7, where just this high-profile reality show goes in to investigate something. But this is like, these people aren't like reality TV people who are investigating this house. But it kind of has that. It kind of feels like, you know, a group of people who are entering a house, found footage kind of thing. But it's apparently getting really good reviews on Amazon right now. It doesn't release until November 14th of this year. So if you want something to look into, I'll leave a link in the description below if you would like to purchase it for yourself. I know it sounds really interesting. And even the art for it, for their cover, looks really cool, and I like that. I also want to kind of get hype about the second episode of Kapoor released last week or something like that, but it's been like months since I played through the entire first episode, so now the second episode is supposed to be released with, I think, the addition of the third Aegis should be on there, along with a big chunk of extra story content and stuff. So I am so looking forward to playing that, because I really loved the art style and the story so far of Kapoor in the first episode, even from the demo that I played ages ago from Game Jolt that they had, and it was a very short, just like one level demo where you got all three characters. So I'm really excited about that. As for myself, I've still been keeping up with what I said I was going to do about working out and all that kind of stuff. I've worked out every day this week, but that's just because it was a busy day yesterday. I've not really gained like any physical change, which is not that big of a deal, because I've asked some people and not everybody instantaneously, which, I mean, I'm not looking for like instantaneous, like I'm going to be ripped in 1 month kind of thing, but I have actually been really enjoying it. Recently I've been kind of getting that workout high, like I said not long ago. I've also been having a lot of fun with a lot of the recipes I've been experimenting with, because last week I made a spicy tomato soup, which it was supposed to be a bisque, but it wound up being a soup, and it was delicious, because I've never made a tomato soup myself, and I've been really getting into cooking for myself, and that's what's been kind of expanding what I like to eat, because I'm the one making it versus getting it from someone else kind of situation. Another thing that's been kind of up and down for me is recently in my waking life, I have been like much more upbeat lately, and like nothing's really changed. I've just been much more upbeat and like happier and all this kind of stuff all the time, but tired, because I have not been sleeping well lately. I've been having like, they've been nightmares, but they've not been nightmares, because I haven't, like, when I've had nightmares, I usually wake up from them mid-dream, but these have just been like realistic expectations that aren't met kind of nightmares, dreams kind of thing, where they're closer to reality, so that kind of like scares me kind of thing. And I couldn't tell you any of them off the top of my head. I know that I wake up and then I fall back to sleep, and then they're just like completely wiped from memory, which is fantastic, because I know I have heard people saying like waking up and doing like dream journals and stuff like that, but I just haven't thought about doing that myself because of no reason. No reason at all. I just haven't really thought about it. Which, I mean, it may be something I should start doing for my own sanity kind of thing. And so I can kind of remember of what woke me up to begin with, if that's even possible to remember. Which I don't even really know what to do in a dream journal kind of situation. Huh. I don't know. That may be something I'll look into. I am also super excited because a fall festival is coming next week in my area, and it's a really big street fair, and I am super excited to get my hand on some deep fried death from everything, because there's pretty much deep fried almost everything that you can think of, and it's the entire week. It's like 4 blocks. It's huge. It's considered one of the second biggest street fairs, I believe. And like literal street fairs, next to Mardi Gras. I think Mardi Gras is the biggest right now. But I don't know if it's still second. It's been a while since I've looked at that, but it's a huge one, and you mostly go for the food. You don't give a crap about the rides or the games. You go for the food. You essentially go there to eat yourself to death. And it's funny because there are a lot of people who go to that and literally spend they'll spend each day and go get an item and try to get an item from every single booth, which I think is just pure madness, because that just sounds like a lot, especially considering that well over half of the food items on the list are deep fried. So I'm curious to see if people still do that again this year, but I'm excited to get in there, even though it's gonna throw off my whole eating better. But they have deep fried vegetables, so you know, vegetables are good, even though they're deep fried in batter and grease, and yeah, it's not as good. It's probably not as good as I think. And I also want to end on so last weekend I streamed for the first time off of my computer. I think I finally gotten some of my OBS settings to be correct, because it's kind of iffy on what settings to use, because it kind of varies based off of internet connection and all that other kind of stuff. But I think I've got the settings right, and I recorded Thumper because I know it's a sound heavy game, so I wanted to make sure I had good sound levels. And the thing is I can't really tell what it sounds like to me without having like my phone open, and I don't want to have my phone open because then I start getting reverberation from the game itself. So I got a tip last week on what I need to do, so I need to turn up the music a little bit, but I need to turn up the sound of the game a little bit. But it also depends on the game I'm going to play, because Thumper is a sound-based game, versus if I were to play Oni on a live stream, sound doesn't really mean anything. It's all just about the actual gameplay and then me potentially talking and that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really kind of getting into the streaming thing because it's just kind of fun, especially because I have friends in other states that I don't get to play with very often, and this is kind of their opportunity to see, to kind of play and for me to play and then to watch kind of thing. And even though we do play multiplayer games together online, it's the time difference kind of makes it a little rough. But anyway, that's all I have. I'm trying to keep myself from rambling too much about a lot of things, but still, I make sure to check out Unlisted Owner. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to pre-order it. It is currently on Amazon as of right now. But the developer, he's a really cool guy. He's a little bit of a goofball, but I've seen some of his work prior to this, and he seems really passionate about what he wants to do. So I'm really excited to see him get to actually live his dream as a producer, because he's been working on this for probably like 2 or 3 years. I think he had kind of a beta going for him since college, or he's been recording since college, since I was in college with him, but he's been perfecting his art since then. So it'll be really cool to see where he goes from that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this. If you have any suggestions on things you would like for me to talk about, leave a comment down below, because we might talk about that next week. or the week after. See ya.